I haven't said much about Donald Trump lately because I was just hoping he would go away. Donald Trump was just saying dumb stuff, okay? He's one of those people who just says stuff, okay? Anytime he starts losing his grip on the polls, he says something crazy. So when he was saying stupid stuff, it was just stupid, okay? He had a lot of dumb stuff to say about Mexican Americans, a lot of dumb things, but they were stupid and idiotic. They were hurting him in his pocket, but it wasn't dangerous, okay? It was stupid and not practical. But very quickly, he has gone from stupid to dangerous, okay? His rhetoric is dangerous, especially because it plays on American fears, okay? He's playing on American fears, and it's having an adverse effect on real life Muslim Americans. And that's why it's dangerous, okay? It's just went from silly and stupid to problematic and dangerous, and real life people will be getting hurt because of what Donald Trump is saying. Okay, he's playing and preying on people's fears, and here's the bottom line, okay? Terrorism is a problem. ISIS is a problem. ISIL is a problem. But the catch-all of let's just ban all Muslims from entering the U.S. is problematic and not practical. When asked how he would plan on enforcing this ban, he said he's going to have custom agents ask people, are they Muslim? And if they say yes, they'll be turned away. Really, Donald? Do you really even believe that's probable? That doesn't even make sense. What he's saying is Muslims that look like this will be banned. He's assuming all Muslims look the same. He's assuming all Muslims are from the Middle East and they have beards and their women wear hijabs. There's white Muslims. There's black people who practice the Muslim religion. There's people who look like me who are Muslim. Are you going to even ask people who look like me whether they're Muslims? There's plenty of people who are Muslim that don't look like Muslim terrorists. The people that we associate with a terrorist look. And yes, there's a lot of European Muslims. There's a lot of people who have white skin who are Muslim. And that's what he means is I'm going to ask people who look like they might be Muslim if they're Muslim. And if they say yes, I'm going to say you can't come in. What about Muslim Americans? If they travel abroad and come back, I'm not talking about gun laws right now, so I'm not going to answer your question, but thank you. I'll talk about gun laws a different time. Okay, there's Muslims of all skin colors and types. Okay? There's a white person who's Muslim. If he goes to France or Europe or Africa on vacation or work and comes back, are you going to be like, oh, you're Muslim, we're banning you from America? Well, I'm an American citizen. No, man, no. Like, it's not even practical, and it's dangerous to say things that are playing on people's fear, especially if you have no practical way to even deal with it. It's just like, and I was on Twitter researching this, and people be just eating it up. People be, yeah, ban all Muslims. Yeah. Donald Trump has zero political correctness. That's correct, Scott. But he is saying things that are dangerous. Okay? And here's a reason, right? Okay? So a friend of mine who is Muslim got pulled off a plane yesterday because somebody didn't feel safe because he was flying with them. He is an American citizen who has lived in America, born in Virginia, lived in America, lived his whole life in America, practices the Muslim religion, and because he looks like a terrorist, and I could keep putting quotes because and I'll get to that in a second. He got pulled off a plane because somebody didn't feel safe. And I was like, a couple of days ago, I was like, you know how people get mad for other people? I was legitimately mad for my friend. I was legitimately like, that really can happen to you. That really can happen to you. Here's why it bothers me, okay? So in San Bernardino, there was the mass shooting, right? And the person was Muslim. And that's kind of what sparked this. Here's what I don't like. A mass shooting, if you look up terrorism, it's something that incites fear in the public or a group of people. Okay, actions that incite fear in the public or in a specific group of people. So, but we don't say that when it's terrorism. We don't apply terrorism across the board. We only apply terrorism when people look like terrorists. Okay, so when a white person is a mass shooter and kills children in Sandy Hook, or kills black people in a church, or kills whatever, it's never called terrorism, even though it's inciting fear in the public or in a group of people. It's only called terrorism when Muslim people do it. If the person who killed the people in San Bernardino was black, he would have been called a thug, a misguided thug, and it would be black people are criminals. If he was white, we would have sought to understand him and say he's had some mental disabilities. He's got mental this. His neighbor said he was a quiet guy. Nobody knows why he snapped. He was just a tax-paying American. He was this, he was that. If he's of Middle Eastern descent, he's a terrorist, an extremist. Our narratives are placed by what people look like. Okay, when a youth, and this is not only in terrorism, when a youth acts up and he's white, oh, he's misguided, boys will be boys. When he's black, he's a troubled youth and he's destined for a life of crime. In the Middle Eastern, he's probably going to be a terrorist. We always play based on what stereotypes, what people look like. But terrorism, domestic terrorism, is if you go and shoot up a place and kill people, that's terrorism. You shoot up 14 people, that's terrorism. Okay, we only seek to understand when it's white people. We blame when it's black. We seek to understand when it's white. It's terrorist when it's black. I mean, terrorist when it's Middle Eastern. Okay, so like I said, his stuff has went from stupid to dangerous. He's not practical, and it's playing into ISIS and ISIL's plans. Okay, they want to create the small people who are terrorists want to create a separate everybody. The West hates Muslims and that type of rhetoric. There was a picture on the internet of a armed BAIR, and I don't know what BAIR stands for. There was a picture of a guy with an assault rifle following a Muslim woman in America, just following her. He had a gun. There's a picture. Look up armed BAIR following Muslim woman. Donald Trump's statements help play into that. If you look like this, you're probably dangerous, right? So, and that has an effect on real life people. And there's a history of this in America and in the world. After Pearl Harbor, America opened up Japanese internment camps. After 9/11, if you look like a terrorist, you were attacked or ridiculed or all that type of stuff. And I hate to say this because I don't like to make any comparisons to the Holocaust, but there's been other dictators who have said things like this, and it's led to deaths. It's led to deaths of large swatches of people. And that's what bothers me about Donald Trump, okay? You can say what you want, right? You can say what you want. But your words have power when you're in a position of authority and when you're that prominent. And people are just like, yes, ban on Muslims. What does that even look like? And I saw a tweet that's probably so true. It said people are agreeing with banning all Muslims without have ever even meeting a Muslim person. You're assuming. I've got a couple people who work with me who are Muslims. One was born in Orange County and just this regular kid, Muslim. And we made a video on ADD, and the Paris attacks had just happened. And all the comments were like, oh, look at this guy. He's probably a terrorist. What you did in Paris was not cool. I mean, it's ridiculous. Sikh people probably think are terrorists because they don't even understand. They don't understand. They don't seek to understand. None of that. Yeah, the guy who shot up the abortion clinic. Why is that not called terrorism? You seek to incite fear in people, in the public or in a specific group of people. But when you shoot up an abortion clinic and you're white, you're never called. Why are you not called a terrorist? When that's a terrorist act, that's an act of domestic terrorism. But it's never called that. It's only called that when you have terrorist-looking skin, which is brown, Middle Eastern, beards, hijabs. It's only called that. It's frustrating. And I like to talk about funny stuff. I love to talk about funny stuff. But I don't want to ignore what's happening in our actual real world, especially when it's happening and affecting me and people that I like and people that I love and people who aren't what you say they are. The question is, are people concerned voting and do they know their elected officials? That's a great question, Scott. I'm a voting member, and that's the only way I can stop Donald Trump, really. I mean, I don't vote in Republican primaries, and I haven't been selected to do any polls. But you're right. If you don't vote, you really are allowing stuff. It's not even like don't vote for Trump. It's like if you don't agree, you have to vote for the other person. Person you do agree with. Whoever you agree with, you've got to vote for them. It's not only not voting for Trump. Because not voting is making a statement too. Because people are hoping that you don't turn out. And there's an old proverb, and I don't know it exactly, but it's like, well, I mean, he's banning Muslims and I'm not Muslims. And he's got these things to say about Mexicans, but I'm not Mexican. He's got this and all that. Scott, I didn't know you were Republican. But if you don't protect the people when it's not you, then who will be left to protect you when it's you? That's what I'm saying. Scott, what are your feelings? Are you a Trump supporter? Can I ask you that right here? Is that too much? Trump is definitely not politically correct, but I think there's a difference between that and, God dang it.